Well, very welcome, everyone. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Cristina Giner. I am reporter, journalist, correspondent of EURONEWS. Well, welcome, everyone, panelists, participants, journalists. This press conference marks the launch of the INVESTMED project, co-founded by ENI, CBC-MED program, and led by BusinessMed. EMEA, the Euro-Mediterranean Economist Association, is the responsible for the communication and mapping, as you know. And well, I like to say also that this press conference contents and discussions are public and will be live broadcasted on social media, in this case on Facebook. So, you know. For journalists here also, I want to say that we are going to do a brief presentation, and then you'll have, we will take your questions. So please write your questions on the chat, on the Q&A box that you will find in the Zoom, and we will try to take all your questions for the panelists, okay? Okay, so I don't want to get very long, and I would like to introduce already the panelists. So Mr. Fabrizio Palloni, who will be delivering the welcome remarks. Mr. Palloni is the coordinator of the Joint Technical Secretariat from the ENI CBC-MED program. Then we'll be hearing the introductory remarks that will be delivered by Mrs. Sehim Larif, is advisor to the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research of Tunisia. And finally, Professor Rimayadi, the president of EMEA and responsible for communication mapping on the INVESTMED, will be presented the project, the INVESTMED project. Mr. Palloni, I invite you to take the floor, or the screen, as we shall say now. So please.
Thank you, and I am really honored to be here for the start of your project. This is a strategic project, as told before, that is granted by the European Union through the ENI CBC-MED program. So it is natively a cross-border cooperation intervention. We have 3 European member countries, such as Spain, Italy, and Greece, cooperating together with Egypt, Lebanon, and Tunisia on the investment project is considered really important by the Joint Technical Secretariat. Why? Because, and not only by the managing authority as well. The reason is that the project is really working on one of the assets in the region that is a sustainable economy and new entrepreneurship, sustainable entrepreneurship involving, in particular, some social groups that are often in a weaker position compared to others. So it is investing in youth and in women of all ages, together with all the people wishing to be entrepreneurs. Furthermore, the project is capitalizing one of the instruments for boosting economy, that is the sub-grants. The project has an amount devoted to sub-grants, around 625,000, if I am not wrong. This is very, very important to support effective economy in the region. And that's why we are very glad to be assisting the project, and we feel committed to support your project implementation. I would now give back the floor, since I know that many of you know better than me the project in this in this phase, and we remain available as a Joint Technical Secretariat for all the needs of assistance that you may have. And so have a nice start of this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Paloni. We will give the floor now to Ms. Hemlarif.
Thank you very much. My name is Sihem Larif, and I'm a special advisor to the Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research. I got appointed this week, so I'll try to do a brief presentation of what we have been doing in Tunisia to promote entrepreneurship and also to empower youth. But what you need actually to know is that Tunisia is really engaged in empowering youth and in encouraging entrepreneurship, either in university but also in the social and in the economic environment. So first of all, talking about Tunisia and entrepreneurship, Tunisia has been pioneer in launching the first actually legal framework to promote startups, and this framework is called the Startup Act. Startup Act was the first actually legal framework in Africa, and actually a lot of countries are following the example of Tunisia and getting inspired but what's happening in Tunisia. For example, Senegal is doing the same, Mali is doing the same, etc. So we're really, the government is really engaged in promoting entrepreneurship and in helping youth actually launch their startups, because it's a way of reducing actually unemployment in Tunisia. So regarding the Ministry of Higher Education, also several actions have been put in place in order to promote entrepreneurship. So we have put in place a structure which is called Pôle Étudiant Entrepreneur. It's a kind of a structure that promotes entrepreneurship within universities. It's a pilot project. It has been put in 2 regions. It's only the start, and it needs to be generalized actually into other regions. So this structure, it offers mentorship, it offers flexibility to the students, it offers co-working spaces, fab labs, trainings in order to help students launch their startup. Also, there is another project which is happening in Tunisia and which also promotes youth entrepreneurship. And this is like a special status that is given to students entrepreneurs. So this special status, it's called le statut étudiant entrepreneur. So this status, actually, it gives like a framework that accompanies students to launch their startup, so they have more flexibility in their studies, like the duration in which they take all the classes is much longer for these students. They have like special coaches that are assigned to them. They have professional mentors that they are assigned to them. And really the objective is to put them with the different structures in order to help them launch their product. So I'm really glad, I'm really honored to take a part of this project, especially that we are talking about entrepreneurship. We're also talking about sustainable entrepreneurship, which is really the future actually for Tunisia, but also for all over the place. And also our objective is really to promote students, to empower them, of course, women also, in order for them to become like active stakeholders that are going to promote the country and promote entrepreneurship. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this insight. We give the floor now to Professor Rim Ayadi, President of EMEA. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this press conference
which we are honored to host this morning. And it launches the new project, INVESTMED, led by our dear partners, BusinessMed, based in Tunis, and represented today by Jihen Boutiba, the institution Secretary General, with whom we have been very much working into this new thinking of aligning research and action toward inclusive and sustainable development. This project, of course, is co-funded under the ENICBC framework, and this project is formally kicking off today, as was explained in the launch session organized by BusinessMed this morning. So this project was co-developed, co-designed, and to be implemented till March 2023, if the COVID-19 situation allows it. So this is an important matter that we need to keep in mind. By 9 partners from both shores of the Mediterranean, Spain, Italy, Lebanon, Egypt, Tunisia, present today in this press conference and represented by their representatives. And I'm very much welcoming them today to be part of this press conference, but also part of this great project that is being launched today. Now, just a few words about the Euro-Mediterranean Economists Association. We are based in Barcelona and responsible for the technical support to the lead partner, BusinessMed. And also we are leading the communication and mapping exercise. And we are very much delighted to be in this partnership. As was mentioned this morning, the budget for this project is circa 3.8 million euros, co-funded by ENICBC program, and of course, the reminders by the partnership. At EMEA, with its research networks and in collaboration with other partners, namely LUMSA and EMED, who are university and research organizations, we have been working very much together for the past years to develop innovative economic models for inclusive, responsible and sustainable development in line with the sustainable development goals of the United Nations. In the past years, we have made of entrepreneurship, understanding the channels of high growth and accelerating job creation a field of research and action in which this project is one of the actions we are developing. This project is, in fact, designed to support the development of new sustainable entrepreneurship and business initiatives in 3 key sectors: green, blue economy, and cultural creative industry, to create new sustainable economic opportunities and decent jobs for youth and women in the 3 target countries, Tunisia, Egypt, and Lebanon. Now, I'll go specifically into what we would like to achieve. Of course, we will start working all together for these laudable objectives and hopefully the actions that will entail. Number 1, we will implement targeted capacity building, coaching and mentoring actions and facilitation of access to risk capital to enable the environment for sustainable businesses. In practice, what we would like to achieve is at least 315 young youth from 24 to 35 years old, graduates, entrepreneurs, would-be entrepreneurs, and women of all ages. So we would like to really make an action on those target groups. We will deliver a sustainable business management training program together with our research and educational partners, mainly LUMSA and EUD, who are represented with us today. Also, a harmonized coaching and mentoring for business ideas in the early stage, funding priorities and conditions to access risk capital, and also a cultural creative industry venture support hub which in fact I would like to say that EMEA is leading another project under another framework, which will allow us to create synergies with this specific project, which is covering all the Mediterranean region from the south and the east. The second main objective is also to facilitate access to new market for SMEs, startup, recently established enterprises with youth or women in managerial positions through financial and capacity building support services. In practice, what we want to achieve is to deliver for 6 startups recently established enterprises to grow market shares and sign new commercial contracts. At least 12 micro, small and medium-sized enterprises to launch new products and services. At least 6 micro, small and medium-sized enterprises to enter cross-border markets, and at least 14 micro, small and medium-sized enterprises to launch new cultural creative industry projects and ventures, and also at least 3 business support organizations to incubate supported entrepreneurship initiatives. So all of this, what we are expecting to do to achieve this is a tailored support mechanism, sub-granting scheme for micro, small and medium-sized enterprises and business support organization led by our colleagues from Barcelona, EURONEWS. Also, incubation and acceleration programs for supported entrepreneurs and online business platforms allowing users, clients to engage in business development. The third main objective is also to increase the capacities of public authorities to facilitate access to and protect the intellectual property rights and commercial contracts for youth and women entrepreneurs via IPR, so intellectual property right campaigns, capacity building programs, and meetings with stakeholders, if the COVID allows it, in order to facilitate reviews of those IPR rules and regulations. So in practice, what we will try to do is to target at least 150 public authorities and intellectual property office staff, and also at least 180 small and medium-sized enterprises and startups. And all of this we will try to deliver together with our partner in Lebanon, BRD, a bilingual English, Arabic, and French and Arabic guidebook on IPR and commercialization that will be accessible, open access to everybody later on. And obviously we will have the IPR reviews and training as part of the training program that we will establish. Now, besides those targeted actions that I shared with you, we are also working on the mapping exercise for the green and blue economy and cultural creative industry. Develop also a mobility scheme of entrepreneurs to visit Spanish successful entrepreneurs and starting to work also in mainstreaming and engagement actions of sustainability criteria and business development with a close view and implementation also of the UN SDGs. And this is an important aspect of our value added in this project. With this, I would like to conclude that EMEA, Euro-Mediterranean Economists Association, we are a policy research institute, which in fact we are trying to bridge science research to policy and action. Hans, I really praise very much our collaboration within this cross-border project INVESTMED, as the president of BusinessMed mentioned, is a joint venture with the private sector, BusinessMed, SIBA in Egypt, also the Spanish Chamber of Commerce, and I think with BusinessMed as also the association of 22 employers organizations from the Euro-Mediterranean region, which in fact will help as much as possible to mainstream this thinking of sustainable entrepreneur with the Euromed region. And of course, we will remain open to any questions from the media. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Ajadi, for this overview of the INVESTMED project. And as you mentioned, we will be taking questions from journalists. You can, as I said, you can write them in the Q&A box in the Zoom, and I will be taking them. But in the meanwhile, I do have some questions. One first question would be: what are the main pillars of the training that you are going to develop in this project? Any of the panelists could answer.
Do I answer this question?
Great.
Okay. I'm really glad to be here at this kickoff meeting, which was long awaited for. But we all understand that under the current circumstances, we have to apply a lot of flexibility. So I'm eager to work together with the other partners, and I'm really hopeful that we will be able to deliver some best practice for these Mediterranean basin countries. What are the pillars that one can develop in order to provide training and coaching for sustainable entrepreneurs, particularly when they are young and when they are female? We have some expertise because we have launched the first Master in Management of Sustainable Development Goals a few years ago, and we have already trained 50 sustainable managers from 32 different countries at my university. But we realized that the specific competences and knowledge components that are needed within the specific context in which we are operating need to have some adaptation with respect to the general background that we have. But to give you a short answer, there are two main pillars. One is sustainable management itself, in the sense that the startupper or the young or possibly young and female entrepreneur who wants to start business needs to be endowed with abilities to draft a sustainable business plan and all that is required to achieve that, considering the specific setups in the business environment where she will operate that. And the second main component is the sustainable finance management approach, because once you have a sustainable business plan which is credible, you cannot just walk into a commercial bank. You need to devise specific strategic planning on the involvement of some specific lenders like venture capital, business angels, like some public funding institutions, some guarantee schemes. And of course, as time moves on, there will be more and more sustainable finance coming from the private sector, but that for the moment is reserved more to the rich countries than to the developing countries and to the emerging countries we are talking about.
Thank you very much. I'd like to quickly introduce Professor Giovanni Ferri, who is Professor of Economics and Director of Master of Science in Management and Sustainable Development Goals in LUMSA University, and also Sustainable Business Management Coordinator for INVESTMED. So thank you very much for this answer. In the meanwhile, we are taking some questions. I will like to. I have another question because Mr. Paloni was talking about subgranting, as this project includes subgranting, and I'd like to know what are the criteria of selection of this subgranting in this project.
Well, thank you very much, Cristina. I believe that this question is rightly addressed to me because I'm here representing the European Institute of the Mediterranean, and as such, as it was already unveiled by Rim Ayadi, we at INVESTMED will be in charge of coordinating the setting up of the support scheme tailored to the needs of MSMEs. I think that the problem is there. The region, and particularly these three countries, along with the other countries of the Southern Mediterranean region, are facing a tremendous problem when it comes to the financing of startups and micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. It is also obvious for the amount of funding devoted to this project that this huge problem will not be solved by this project, but this project is aiming at putting in place a pilot to basically support these startups and these MSMEs from various sectors, and especially addressing and targeting youth and women. Because when we look at the current situation, at the status quo of projects, profit and non-profit being led by youth and women, and when we narrow down the critical problem that micro enterprises and small enterprises, startups have when accessing to funding, we see that this problem is aggravated when these projects are being led by youth and women. And that's why, well, INVESTMED is trying to target these two groups. What will be the criteria? That was the question that you were asking. Well, we're still in the process of, because we began this project only a month and a half ago. Today is the kickoff meeting, so of course we are going to, in the coming months, we are going to elaborate the guiding book for the call of proposals. But initially what we thought is that for the first 4 beneficiary grants that Rim Ayadi was mentioning, we will require a legal person established in one of the 3 countries, Tunisia, Egypt, and Lebanon, legally established at least 1 year prior to the application, and of course with a proven track record in the sector where this startup or MSME is actually developing its activities. Of course, as was mentioned by Rim as well, there will be a support line for business support organizations. You know that business support organizations, unlike the other type of beneficiaries, are generally non-profit making. And in that case, we will probably require at least 2 years of legal establishment prior to the application, and with a proven track record in business coaching, incubation, acceleration services to startups and MSMEs. Needless to say, the selection process will be conducted in a fully transparent and competitive manner. I mean, of course, we will not favor some companies or some MSMEs over the others. What we will do is we will create a playground on which MSMEs and applicants can actually send in their applications, either in English, French, or Arabic with their project. And then an evaluation committee will be going through the selection process in a 2 steps procedure, and of course we intend to conduct this procedure in a very transparent and open manner. As you know, INVESTMED is a fully public owned institution. We are a public consortium. And of course, we are not driven by private interests. We are only driven by public interests, working always towards the southern Mediterranean countries. And in this process, we also aim at cooperating with other, not only regional organizations. It was mentioned the Union for the Mediterranean, which plays a critical and a crucial role in the region, but also some national organizations in the 3 targeted countries, like the credit guarantee companies. I see here Naglabar, who is the managing director at Egypt's Credit Guarantee Corporation, which also play a critical role in facilitating credit to the companies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Roger Albignana, who is Director of Mediterranean Regional Policies and Human Development at EMED and Subgranting Coordinator of INVESTMED. Thank you very much. We are having some questions that I believe also they are being responded on live by some panelists. So I let some of the panelists respond to these questions, and sorry, I have a lot of questions for you, so I'm going to throw my questions and have another question because as Professor Ayadi was mentioning, this project has an important part devoted to intellectual property rights. And how are these IPR developed and enforced in South Mediterranean countries? And another question would be is, what do you expect this project can bring or add to this field?
Yes, hello everyone. Sorry. So my name is Natalia Manhal. I'm a partner with one of the consortium members of the INVESTMED, which is Beyond Group. We're based out of Lebanon. However, we do operate across the region, and so we'll be the lead organization facilitating this conversation and the development of the different deliverables around IPRs. Well, the question about IPRs in the region, like across the Mediterranean, is a tricky one to answer, Cristina. So I mean, and as Roger said, like, because this is still the start of the project, so we'll have time to consult with different stakeholders, with different entities that have been involved in the development and the enforcement of IPRs in the different countries that we're operating in. However, like, to answer your questions, definitely there are specific elements to look into. First, there's the regulation process. So what are existing regulations across the different countries that we can benefit from, that would benefit these young and female entrepreneurs, of course, in these startups. There's also the process of how they're informed, but how they're enforced as well. And there's also the element that is related to the interest of entrepreneurs in following up on the different IPR elements, and what would be how can we align between the regulations that exist and the interest of these entrepreneurs. So these are important elements that we need to look into, that we will be looking into in order to develop, as Reem mentioned, in order to develop the manual that would be put out there, that would be contextualized, because every country has its specific legal and regulatory framework for IPRs. So how can we ensure that it is contextualized so everyone can benefit from it, but also that it serves the entrepreneurs and their benefits in a way that doesn't add barriers to their development, their growth, and their sustainability. So definitely, this is a very, very important element that we'd be tackling, but that does require a series of consultations, as Reem mentioned in the presentation of the different activities.
Thank you very much, Natalia. I know this is a very early stage of the project still, and maybe I'm posing too many questions, but thank you very much. I have a more general question, but I think it's an important one. Well, COVID-19 has been a disruption into EU projects, as in every activity. So how do you see the coronavirus could impact in this specific project? I don't know if someone wants to
say something. Hi, my name is Stefano Cucca. I'm the CEO of Rumundo. I'm really happy to be here. And I will be the responsible for the mentoring part of the project. And I would like to give to you this answer because just yesterday, I was teaching like a group of people that are coming from other countries, like the project called Mediterraneo. The mean of this project is to try to support people that are coming from other countries in conflict each other. So like Israel and Palestine and other countries. And they used to teach them to try to build some sustainable startups in different countries, you know. And I used to host them in Sardinia, you know, where I'm living, where we are based, where we have an academy. And we used to host 297 people, more or less, like last year. But this year was not possible to host them in our academy. So like from yesterday, we start with a Zoom platform to teach them. And I have to say like something about our method that is really particular. I study like business model in the so far in US, let's say. Looks like that I'm young, but just because my beard is black, you know. And like I took the best and the worst about this model in US. Like, and the first part that our Romudu method is following is like that we are not born in US. We are not Mark Zuckerberg. We are different, and we have to know that. Otherwise, we are using this word like not in the good way. And I try to keep the real sentence of to make value with a new idea. And we try to give to the people that are following our course, and I would be happy to do the same in this program, to real make value with ideas first. And during our part that probably could be online, maybe in 2021, we don't know, let's say that we could give value too. And just yesterday, so 10 hours ago, we posted on our Facebook page a picture about our lesson, about the difference between where we were like live and the picture about Zoom. But you know the best, and I'm feeling really like, you know, my skin is dancing, because the guy from Mali said to us, the experience in Rumundo was one of the best experience in terms of knowledges in my life, and they made in Italy. And these people were following different courses in university, degree, masters, and they came in the Rumundo. So in this small island in the middle of the Mediterranean Ocean, called Sardinia, to keep knowledges. And when someone sends to you this kind of feedback, I think that we could be able to make a great job also online, let's say. Thank you so much.
Can I add a few words to this?
Sure, sure.
Yes. I'm Giovanni Ferri from LUMSA, and we have been running this master in management of sustainable development goals, as I mentioned already, and that was a blended format. So it was largely online, mostly online, with a very small part which was residential with face-to-face classes. Now, since the emergency of coronavirus hit us in March this year, we have transformed the program totally online. So we have, as partner of INVESTMED, we have been developing contingency plans on how to restructure the activities that are entrusted onto us. We are responsible for working package 3. to be able to perform these activities even remotely. Now we realize, and we do know, that the efficacy of remote training and coaching is not the same. But on the other hand, this is what we can do under the present circumstances, and I think the managing authority will understand and approve this remoduling.
Thank you very much to both Stefano Cucca and Professor Giovanni Ferri. Thank you very much, because I think this applies to actually all activities. So there is life beyond, and we can solve things through technology. So thank you very much for this positive insight of that we can continue doing things. Going back to, because you also were talking about private sector and how this is going to be a project mixed. So I'd like to know what will the project contribute to the private sector in the 3 countries?
So I think this is a question for me, right?
I think anyone who would like to answer.
So as Roger said, the Mediterranean MSMEs are facing important challenge in terms of competitiveness, sustainability, internationalization, and a capacity to innovate, which call for urgent solution, particularly with this unexpected COVID-19 pandemic all over the world. We are not saying that we will save the world with our project, but as you saw, I mean, the partners, the consortium is with different component of partners, with LUMSA, with EMEA, with Roger Labaina, with EURONEWS. So from public to private to universities to, I mean, we will try with this project from our side to have this startup benefit from some sub-grantings in order to deliver some support for these startups. But from our perspective as representative of the EuroMed region with the 22 country members representing employers organization in the EuroMed region, our perspective is normally to create some jobs so for this new generation with a focus on women and youth through this training and sub-grant. And our main goal is in order to leave a real footprint with this project with all these partners. Of course, we will not resolve the employment in the region so far, as Rosie said, but at least on working on Egypt, Lebanon, and Tunisia, INVESTMED will impact both on MSMEs, which staff will be trained and coaches to become more competitive, and on the relevant public authorities whose capacity to facilitate access to finance to the startup. So our role as a lead partner with BusinessMed will be to manage concrete deliverable with all the partners and support all the consortium, of course, in a collaborative way and overall engagement in the region by involving all private sector with a sustainable and mainstream philosophy of entrepreneurial.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jihen. I would like to take a question from our participants. I don't know, it's from Domenico Letizia, but I don't know, he didn't introduce himself. So, but I like to take this question because he says, the INVESTMED project action will be distributed in 30 months, intends to create a favorable environment for startups in Egypt, Lebanon, and Tunisia. Regarding the synergies to be created, what is being worked on the issue of blue economy and green economy? I don't know who would like to take this question.
I can step forward to this.
Thank you, Professor Ayadi.
This is an important question. A lot is being done now on both the green economy and blue economy. Of course, these are sectors which are, in my view, very much within the thinking of the Sustainable Development Goals. And also in terms of greening the economy, which is an objective that has been put forward not only by the European Union, but also by the United Nations. And I think many players nowadays are working on this green economy and blue economy. And our contribution in these two sectors would be really to develop the thinking about those two sectors, trying to embed with the principles of the SDGs on sustainability, and at the same time to enhance the synergies with other projects which are already very much advanced on those two sectors. But then our contribution would be really to try to mainstream this thinking, this innovative thinking, into these two sectors through entrepreneurship and high growth initiatives that we will try to support and try to develop within this couple of years, hopefully.
Thank you very much for this answer. And
Cristina?
Yeah.
Good morning. Hello, may I ask something? I'm Carmen Ayon from the Spain Chamber.
Sure.
No, it's regarding about the green economy. I would like just also to let you know that, well, the Spain Chamber is right now leading a project under the MSMEs program about particularly green economy. So we will be able to share our experience fostering well, water and energy savings for particular tourism industry, and how these SMEs in the Mediterranean region, they could save a lot of money in their consumptions, implementing new available and easy technologies. So we will be able to share this experience to do some kind of peer learning, how we are supporting these also innovative SMEs taking part into the project, and exchange our views well, to foster growth and sustainable development of the beneficiaries of INVESTMED project. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this insight. And well, I think I have a last question. I don't know if we have time for more because we are getting to the time, but just one final question. That is, why did you choose these three sectors in the design of the project? And do you plan to add more economic sectors? I don't know, maybe if Professor Ayadi could also answer this question, this last question.
The choice of the sectors, of course, is linked to the growing sectors nowadays in the region. And I think, as I mentioned previously, these three sectors, mainly the blue economy, green economy, and the cultural creative industry, they are growing sectors. But then in our region, the Mediterranean region, there is a large potential for further development. And of course, sustainability has been really mainstreamed, or has started to be mainstreamed over the last years in Europe, in other developed countries. It's new, it's all new trends toward this sustainability thinking, as was mentioned also by Professor Ferry. So those three sectors, obviously, there is potential, and that is why we made that choice. Also, it would be probably easier to mainstream sustainability into those three sectors, so then we can accelerate the development in terms of entrepreneurship and startups in the three countries.
Okay, thank you very much. And very, very quickly, because I know someone was asking also, can you briefly explain what is the role of each partner? Just so I don't know if we could have a brief.
Yes, we can start by ourselves. Euro-Mediterranean Economists Association is technical support for the activities of the project, together with the communication and mapping exercise.
As far as we are concerned, the LUMSA partner is in charge of working package 3, which is sustainable business management training, which means creating a supporting environment for sustainable business management. And this is one of the biggest parts of the entire program.
Concerning IMED, as I explained beforehand, we are in charge of putting in place the support scheme tailored to the needs of MSMEs, or as we wish to call it, the sub-granting scheme. Not only the design, but also the implementation and the administrative follow-up.
From our side, and also as presented, we'll be leading the efforts to design and develop the IPR manual and help integrate this throughout the process, but also contribute to the different components based on our experience working in Lebanon and the region.
Hello. So my name is Julia Bahusi on behalf of IED, the Greek organization. I would like to briefly present our organization and at the same time our role in the project. So IED is a center of excellence in European entrepreneurship and the fast-growing innovation hub. So since our last 15 years of experience in entrepreneurship, in INVESTMED project, we will mainly contribute in the design of the survey in order to assess the current level of skills and competencies needed, also the challenges faced by the young and women. So after that, we can have a first analysis on needs and skills in order to base our training program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Stefano Cucca, Romundo. Romundo is a green accelerator. We are an incubator, and now we are running a decelerator. Decelerator means that we have to go slowly to try to make a good business for everyone. So basically we are, as I said, we are based in Sardinia. We were in South Africa just 3 months ago, but because we were opening another academy in Cape Town, close to the township, to try to make a social program with a few million of people that are living in such a bad way. But with this COVID, we have to try to think this project for the 2021. So we will be mentoring the startups.
Thank you.
Regarding the Spain Chamber, I am Carmen Ayon, and we have a long experience in the Spain Chamber through the Spanish Chamber Network. We have been working for 20 years with on women entrepreneurship, and we are currently supporting around 12,000 women with advice and helping the sustainable creation of 2,000 women SMEs. So we will share our experience, our know-how on the training program and the exchange mobility activity. We have been also supporting innovation for SMEs for 10 years, and right now we are supporting all these SMEs on IT competencies, the new IT competencies they need to become more international, and also to be more sustainable in new sectors, and to be an active partner in the ecosystem in every region of Spain. So we will also help, support the project with some on the coaching activities, training activities with this know-how. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And one very, very last question, because we didn't talk about Egypt, and I would like to know what would this project would add, and what will be, what is being
Cristina, you forgot Jihen, and I think also yes.
Oh, sorry. I forgot Jihen. Sorry.
And Natalia, no? Or she talked?
The Natalia talk, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
So as the lead partner of the project, so we'll be doing mostly management, financial part, administration, follow-up on reporting with all the partners, as I said, in a collaborative way. This is an excellent consortium as we are regrouping all of us, policies, training, job creation with these startups. So the as a business support organization, and with the partnership of employers and Chamber of Commerce with SIBA also in the consortium, we will bring the network and of course to help all the partners in order, particularly EURONEWS will have the subcontracting part. And I think we will try to move on and work together as BSO, think tanks, university. We englobe all I mean, it's a cycle. Everything has to start with policies and then training and then arriving to the job creation. So hopefully we will get a positive impact at the end of the project. Of course, we will not solve the world and we will check what we'll do with this pandemic period, because it will be kind of hard to have all all these startup moving forward, but hopefully we will move on. Concerning Egypt, as you said, we have a partner which is SIBA, which is will be representing Egypt, and Chamber of Commerce. They are also representing private sector. So I don't know which is question, Cristina, concerning Egypt exactly. I didn't see the chat.
Well, I was going to ask, what is the project going to add in Egypt?
So as I said, our partners from Egypt are Alexandria Chamber and SIBA. Both of them are representing private sector and Chamber of Commerce, and the added value will be having the business support organization, supporting all the partners in terms of having these startups flourishing from the region. And it's not only in Egypt, also in Lebanon and in Tunisia, as the representative of the ministry presented this morning, and now Mrs. Sihem.
Okay.
Did I answer your question, Cristina?
Well, that's. I'm missing someone?
Yeah, I'm
or
right
everyone.
Here. Right here. So Sihem, I have just talked in the beginning. So really happy to be part of this project, because we really believe in entrepreneurship as a solution for unemployment in Tunisia. We also believe in women, we believe in youth, and these people are going to lift the country, and we're going to realize growth together. So we're really happy to be part of this project, and our contribution will be to help access the students' community with the networking, with putting you in touch with different support structure, students, all the organizations that are helping entrepreneurship in Tunisia, and also perhaps if there are any economic partners that you want to reach in Tunisia, we'll be glad to help and to support the project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sihem. Thank you very much all for your answers and for letting us know more about INVESTMED. I wish you all the luck implementing this project in times of COVID, that we for sure you will do, as they explained very well. And we will be very happy to keep track and to monitor the development of this project. So thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you
Bye.
for your nice
We have
management.
our private meeting in a few minutes.
We can have a picture all together. So for also the communication before you all leave. I ask my colleague Georges, Kinga, and Cynthia, please, to take those pictures, so then we can share them with the lead partner for following up.
And thank you to Cristina.
Yes, thank you very much, Cristina, for
Thank you,
moderating this press conference. So please take the gallery view, okay? And let us know when you are done, so then we can close this meeting. And thank you for the timing, Cristina. It's 11:44. We are all good.
We are used on TV.
Okay, and thank you all. And obviously we will have the working session to start the work, because we are starting the work. We haven't done anything yet.
So good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Best of luck.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Later, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Cristina.